Hello and happy Saturday to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you may be watching. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast is a District 4 Class 2A semifinal matchup sponsored
Ladies
by
and
the
gentlemen, now
Fraternal Order
entering
of
the
the
field, your
Eagles,
2021
featuring the third-seeded Troy Trojans and the second-seeded Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes. My name is Jim Lesko. Alongside me is my brother Dan Lesko. Jose Gonzalez supports us from the sideline, and together we're coming to you live from the Jazz Diminick Field at the famed Silverbowl in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. On Dan, what's a hat and gloves kind of night here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now the Trojans, for what it's worth, they're fresh off avenging a regular season loss to Sayre, while the Red Tornadoes defeated Bloomsburg for their 6th straight victory. Tonight, though, both squads face the same proposition: win and advance to the district championship, or lose and face a long offseason.
Yeah, and really, to determine the winner tonight, it's going to be determined in the trenches, Jim. This is going to be like an old-fashioned Army-Navy game. Both of these teams are downhill running teams. We'll see Troy run a lot of power I and wing T to go along, to go against the Red Tornadoes shotgun double wing that they run, a variation of the wing T. So this is going to be like an old-fashioned football game here tonight, and I'm really excited to see these the Troy offensive line and defensive line, see how they hold up against this tough Red Tornado offensive and defensive line.
I think what's interesting, when you get to the playoffs, a lot of times you want to forget the regular season, right? It's a new slate. You have to go 1-0 every week kind of thing. And so in a lot of cases, that's somewhat easy for the Trojans this week.
Yeah.
As we found out throughout the week, they've got some really talented kids, Damian Landon, Clayton Smith, guys that are injured. So they'll look to kind of shift up their offense a little bit, Dan. So we talked about the wing T. We'll certainly see. What do you expect from the Red Tornadoes? Do you think they'll be able to key on that, or do you expect it to look a little different than maybe it did on film?
I think as we hear about things throughout the week, I would hope that the team is hearing about it as well. So I think that, that throughout the week, it's definitely changed up the way things, the way the Red Tornadoes have prepared defensively to kind of counter this offense. They're definitely going to do some things differently. But I think any team has to do things differently against this tough Red Tornado defense, especially teams that are, more of a power run team.
And you see there's the players go out for the coin toss. Red Tornado side, it looks like it's going to be number 10, Diaz. He of the about 19.8 yards per carry, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Verano, who's a big loss for the Red Tornadoes, not suited tonight, along with Stellar, who we'll talk about a lot, in Estico for sure. As well on the Trojan side, that was number 50, Mason Imp, who we'll certainly talk about a lot. He's a bit of a menace on the defensive side. Number 60, Isaiah Ballard. 70, Eli Crane, and 36, Peyton Jane. The Red Tornadoes won the toss. And Dan, we're going to see him early.
Yeah, and that's not typical of the Red Tornadoes, but I think this is one of those things where this long trip for Troy, they took the long bus ride down here, long-awaited game. So now, let's see if they're, we can get one up on them early. You know what I mean? That try and get them moving backwards right away.
Yeah, and like I said, it's cold. It's about 35 out. And again, I think we.
That's one of those things too that I think it's definitely colder up there in the northern tier than it is down here. But this is definitely a cold night as we see some fireworks in the distance here to commemorate the kickoff of this semifinal game. That's
a first. I don't know that I've seen that one. Fireworks in between the lines. Sure. Give them maybe 5. It'll be 3rd and 3. So a bit of a rare sighting there. Diaz going for less than 20.
Yeah, I think that's the first time when there wasn't a penalty where I didn't see Diaz go for a first down that he's got the ball. So obviously it's going to happen at some point. We are in the district semifinal. You know what I mean? The competition is definitely getting better and better as we go on, as we move through this. So you're going to see that.
Still got a wide split from Feliciano here, and he'll go across the formation. Feliciano's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get the first down through a great effort because Shucker was in and hit him in the backfield.
Yeah, they definitely got him right away, and you're right. I think he got his hand down to kind of keep it.
148-yard line. Again, it's Feliciano's in the gun with Stellar to his left. They run that shotgun double wing. Widener and Diaz are in the wings to the right. It's Diaz in motion, but it's going to be Stellar up the middle, and he's going to be hit immediately. And that's number 67, And we don't have a 67 at this point, Dan, so we'll give number 67 credit there for making a big play.
Yeah, it's a really nice play there. Looks like coming from the nose guard spot there. Did a nice job making that play. But we will see now how the Red Tornadoes decide to proceed now that they're behind the sticks. We don't see them in this position very often.
2nd and 11. It's Diaz in motion again, and this time he'll get it. He's going to try to get the corner, but he's gobbled up by Impt. He's going to lose a lot of yards. My goodness, he'll go back to the 42-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 19.
Yeah, Jim, and it looks like the Trojans here ready to go right off the bat, and we're going to see that. Looks like we're going to see them spread things out.
Split out to the there now. David, Stellar, and Diaz will join Feliciano in the backfield. Schultz and Chicatano, those tight ends. This will be Stellar. He'll pick up a couple out to the 35. 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about the backs, and we always try to give our offensive linemen credit there. So in there we've got Kelly, Nestico, Geary, Moser, and Shimko. Those front 5, and they do a heck of a job up front.
Yeah, they have. We can talk more about the prowess of this Red Tornado rushing attack as the night goes on.
Yeah.
For the time being, we'll focus on picking up a first down here. They're going to go to the up man. It's Davitt, and Davitt's in and out. And the ball is nope, the ball's not out. All right, got some diving going on there, Dan.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
little sketchy for a second. He'll get a gain of 5, so it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, we hear the roar from the Red Tornado crowd here. Not super excited about the spot there, but you're right, 3rd and 1 here. But this is a defense, or this is an offense that is staying on schedule here. They're built to get this 3rd and 1.
And it'll be Stellar, and I'll have the first down off the right side. He'll get to the 45, so give him 5 on that one. 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes, and Dan, you talked about the crowd. The crowd has kind of started over the last 5 or 6 weeks doing a first down cheer.
Yeah.
That I'm not, I don't know was always there in years past. So they were starting to load up that first down cheer when we saw the spot.
Yeah,
we're none too pleased.
We like that, though.
Yeah.
I like that. That always lets us know when there's a first down, at least, in case we miss it. But I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Stellar tonight. I think Stellar's having a lot of success in there, picking up 4 or 5 yards a carry.
This time it'll be Feliciano, and he's going to be hit hard quickly. Now, again, he's a big kid. He's a strong kid. He'll fall forward. He'll gain 4, but he's getting hit right at the line of scrimmage when he comes through.
Yeah, and you're right. I think it's that length that he has. He's a little bit of a taller kid. He's able to kind of fight off those ankle grabbers there, and even when he falls forward, he's picking up an extra 2-3 yards. But I just think this is a game that's pretty. The way it seems right now, it seems like it's going to be a power run game for the Red Tornadoes that's going to give them success, and that's Stellar.
And there he is. He's going to be hit in the backfield. He'll get a yard somehow.
Yeah.
He'll get right to midfield, so it'll be 3rd and 5 with 3.5 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, and this is going to be a quick game tonight if there's not too much throwing the football. This has been one of the quickest first quarters we've had so far.
Yeah, I think the only stoppages we've had have been on change of possession at this point.
Change of possession and the one incompletion that Mount Carmel had on that long 3rd down.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's David and Diaz in the wing to the far side. They're going to give it to Diaz, and he's going to try to get up inside. He stays on his feet, but he's hit hard from behind. That was number 20, Mason Woodward. And it'll be 4th down for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, and he was able to kind of spin and step out of the first tackler, but slowed him up just enough to allow Woodward, like you said, to come from the backside there. And I think we're going to go Stellar in a little wildcat here to see if we can get 4 yards.
Yeah, this play's been good for, 4 years now?
Yeah, yeah, it has. Usually for a little less than this, though.
There's the hard count. Credit the Trojans staying disciplined, but it's Stellar, and he'll have the first down. He does a good job picking his way.
Real good job.
And I'll say something, Dan. So this Trojan team is physical.
Yes, they are.
You watch away from the play, as the play kind of dies down again. It's clean, it's hard football, but they want to mix it up.
Yeah, and we don't want to ever talk bad about anybody else, but it seems like Northern Tier teams normally are more throw heavy. They're not normally playing this type of hard-nosed football like this Trojans team is.
And there's the pitch to Stellar now. And what a play made there. So again, that's Woodward. Now you got to throw a couple flags there. Woodward threw him into the benches.
I'm not thinking. I didn't see any flags there, Jim. I didn't see a single flag thrown.
So Woodward's going to make the tackle, but give credit to, I think, I'm trying to see if it was 2 or 3 on that side. I don't see a 3 on our roster, so I'm going to say number 2, Jackson Taylor, who came in from his, looks like he's playing a linebacker position there. They run that 3-3 stack.
Yeah.
And he really weaved his way through all the defenders.
He did.
And kind of met Stellar at the point of attack.
For sure. But we'll see again. No flags. But now again, the Red Tornadoes behind the sticks here. It seems like when they're trying to go outside, they're not having any success.
And they'll get Diaz in there, and Diaz is in the open field, and now he's got some blockers. Now he's in the open field down the sideline. He's going to stay on his feet, so he'll get knocked out around the 20. They're going to say right at the 20. So that'll be a gain of 28, by far the Red Tornadoes' most successful play of the night.
Absolutely, and Diaz is so shifty. You're not going to hold him down too long. He's going to be able to. He gets in and out so quick that his foot speed, that's one of those drills that they work on. They got these guys doing the agility ladder in pregame, and that's what it is. It's that quickness, that doing the icky shuffle in and out of there, and getting to the corner, and then just beating guys down the sideline.
And this time it's going to go to Davitt as the up man. And Davitt's going to fight forward. He'll get inside the 15. Looks like they're going to say the 13. So it'll bring up 2nd and 3.
And, Jim, sometimes one big play is kind of what you need to kind of open the floodgates. And it appears that's what it is here now for the Red Tornadoes. They've been pounding. They've been working hard. They've been taking a little bit of a beating. But now you get that one big play where the defensive lineman got to run downfield, get back in spots. Now I think this is where you got to impose your will and finish this drive.
And it's Stellar now. And Stellar is going to be in from 13 yards out. It's 6-0 Red Tornadoes with 55 seconds left in the first quarter.
And that's exactly what the Red Tornadoes did right there. They imposed their will on that drive. They took the beatings. They took the losses. They got their big break with Diaz making a nice run. And now they've got Stellar in the end zone for a quick 6 points there to get an early lead here.
So Feliciano to hold. And Dan, I think we talked about this a little bit last week. Actually, it looks like I think the holder, it's a good hold. The kick, the ball's down, the kick is up, and it's good. So it's 7-0 Red Tornadoes. But the holder there, Dan, that's Shimko that does the long
snapper. Yeah. Yep. I think it was Nestico last year. Shimko, a freshman this year. I think Nestico did it last year for sure. But you're right, Shimko. So he was the one in the battery there with Stellar and Verano when he broke his record.
Yep, and that's kind of where I was going with it. So that's the 122nd career extra point for Stellar and the 131st career kicking point for Stellar.
Okay.
So what he's got in his sights now is, again, Mike Sinkovic's career kicking point total of 133. So certainly within distance here, 3 more kicking points for Stellar to own that record as well. But certainly he's just more worried about coming away victorious tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely got it in his sights, but Stellar's a gamer out there. He's even though it's in the back of his head, and he probably knows that it's coming because I know Jose, keeps track of it, and he lets guys know when they're approaching these milestones. They all know that there's a game at hand and there's a task at hand, and it's walk out of here tonight with a W.
So Stellar will do the kicking off. We were a little curious what we were going to see because Farinata was doing some in early time tonight.
Yeah.
So Stellar will be kicking. It's going to be low. It'll bounce. It's going to be taken by, by Renzo at about the 17. And he goes right up the middle. Widener's going to get enough of him to slow him down. It'll be 1st and 10 Trojans at the 38.
Yeah, that's a good job there on the kick coverage. Renzo did a good job of kind of splitting a gap there, it looked like, and getting a couple extra yards. But they did a good job covering that kick. And now we'll see if the Trojans can come out and answer. They had a nice first series there where they picked up the first down, had a nice little run. But we're going to have to see if they're able to piece anything together and continue success.
So they send Renzo and Roy out wide to the field side, and they'll run the triple option. Woodward kept that one himself. Looks like there was a little confusion there on the handoff. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no further, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that's a situation there that where that play is dangerous. All the penetration from the defensive line there. Woodward couldn't I didn't know who had the ball, if he handed it or if he kept it, because it looked like the defensive line kind of just gobbled up both guys and made the tackle there.
Yeah, and Woodward, he's not a huge guy either. 5'10", $140 is what he's listed at this point. And they'll do it again, and Woodward's going to keep it himself, and he's going to run hard, give him credit.
Real hard.
He, again, much like Feliciano, he got hit right around the line of scrimmage. He powered forward. He picked up around 7.
Yeah, it's a really hard run there by Woodward. And I don't know if we mentioned it earlier. You mentioned his size, but he is only a freshman as well. We talked about this only being his 2nd start. And that's the quarter, Jim. Yep. It's crazy how quick that ends.
Last play of the first quarter there. Goes for 7. It'll be about 3rd and 2 when we get back here.
Yeah, they haven't set the ball, so
right.
So we'll see.
But again, tonight's broadcast is sponsored by the Fraternal Order of the Eagles, and we really just want to thank them and just mention Area 464. The motto there, Dan, is people helping people. The Eagles, Fraternal Order of the Eagles, are involved in the community. Obviously, big support of the Big Red.
Yeah.
So we just want to thank them for that and everything they do. And I want to remind everybody that, again, on Monday morning, what you need to do, you need to call the Mount Carmel Area School District, 570-339-1500, and you want to make sure that you're making a donation to the WKMC TV studio. And here's why. So if the Red Tornadoes come out victorious this week, that donation's going to help make sure we're back on the air next week. If the Trojans are victorious, that donation's going to help provide some appreciation to this TV studio for everything they've done all season. So again, that's 570-339-1500.
What? I'm a little confused at what's going on right now. Mr. Mansky said the officials are putting 2 seconds back on the clock. They haven't moved the ball yet. Both teams are back on the field.
Right.
And they haven't moved the ball.
So where the yard marker is on the chains, that's not where Woodward went down.
No, it is not.
Right, so.
Unless somebody marked him down earlier than others. And we're all a little confused. Now we're going to switch the field here and move the ball.
Okay, so we'll say now the quarter's over.
Officially.
No time was added on the clock. Nothing ran. But the quarter's over. We went 10 weeks without any kind of back and forth like this. Now we got an untimed down last week that threw us off.
Yeah.
And now here we are with this mysterious 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely not always sure what's going on out there, but we try to figure it out, piece it together, but we'll see now.
I think when we get started here, it's going to be 3rd and about 2 from the 41.
Well, where they have the ball marked, it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Did they rule Woodward down?
They may have ruled him down by contact at the beginning of the play. Maybe he slipped and put a knee on the ground. Because there's no real argument from the Trojan sideline.
It should also be 3rd down, but the marker says 2nd. Now it's a low snap. Woodward's going to throw, and he's going to go down, and now all kinds of flags there. Red Tornadoes came in hard. Woodward ducked under it, and the helmet popped off.
Yeah, and that's a tough one there for like you said, the Red Tornado defense. You get in there, you get the sack, but unfortunately, because Woodward kind of ducked underneath it, the only thing that was able to get a hand on was a helmet.
The good news is Woodward popped right back up. It looks like he's going to have to go to the sideline, lost his helmet, all that kind of stuff. That's going to have to happen. But I believe everything went well. But just, ladies and gentlemen, here, another thing, speaking of a couple weeks ago back at the Shamokin game, Tornado fans everywhere, and especially the Mount Carmel Lions Club, would like to congratulate the winners of the 2021 Mike Terry Awards. That's within the Shamokin game. The outstanding lineman, Matt Kelly, and the outstanding back, Pedro Feliciano. So congrats, guys. And again, that's Mount Carmel Lions Club wants to congratulate the winners of the 2021 Mike Terry Award. All right, so first down.
Yeah, so it's going to be a first down after the 15-yard face mask. And I think we're going to see Chimix because he has to check out for one play.
What a wild sequence of events this has been, Dan.
Yeah.
Chimix is going to hand it. Nope, will keep it himself off the right side. He'll get down to the 46, give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that's a good job here. Red Tornadoes defensively doing a really nice job up front, kind of keeping the defensive linemen fresh. We see guys kind of switching in and out every time that the Trojans huddle. So
it's going to be Chimix again. Now, again, good news is Woodward's on the sideline with his helmet, so maybe just an extra play or two to make sure he's okay. And they're going to go quick again. They'll give it to the up man. That's Johnson. He won't get anywhere. Good job by the Red Tornadoes there. It looks like
Kellen Geary.
And Chicatano as well on the bottom of that pile. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Geary was the first one to make contact there and did a good job hanging on around the waist there, dragging him down. So that's a nice job defensively coming from that nose guard spot there. Now we'll see another 3rd down. See what they opt to do here, and it's going to be Chimix again.
10.5 left in the first half. The Red Tornadoes up 7-0. Chimix is in the gun now. He brings Roy in motion. They're going to run the option. He gets it to Johnson, who does a good job eluding a tackler, but Stellar will trip him up. We'll see. He's going to be about a half yard short, I think, Dan.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be even shorter than that. Stellar tripped him up, and he did a good job of kind of keeping his balance there and falling forward for an extra yard or two. But again, that was more of a speed option there, and they did a good job with the motion going the opposite direction. Kind of had the Red Tornadoes flowing that way, and the back was able to get the corner.
So big play here, 4th and a foot. It's going to be strength on strength, I'm sure. Chimix is going to come right under center. He'll only have Kohik behind him. And he's going to keep it himself, and he should have the first down in him. He's going to get all the way out to the 36-yard line. Looks like where they're going to mark it down, Dan.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. They did a nice job fighting forward and getting that first down. But you're not kidding about these Trojans. They're going downfield. Even the guys that aren't involved in the play, going out and just looking for some contact somewhere. They're definitely looking to be physical, and they're doing that for sure. Now we'll see another first down. These Trojans are driving.
They're going to stay with Chimix. Still no Woodward. They're going to send Renzo out to the wide side of the field. It'll be a full house backfield, a power I, excuse me. And they're going to give it to Kohik. The ball's on the ground, and the Red Tornadoes, it's Bradley. It's all over it. It's 1st and 10, Mount Carmel going the other way on the 41-yard line.
And that is a huge break for the Red Tornadoes as the Trojans were driving there, getting that break. You know, it looked like they were going to have their force the Trojans to punt earlier. The face mask penalty gave the Trojans a first down. And then they start moving the ball a little bit here. So getting that fumble there, and that could be the difference in the score at the half here, Jim.
Well, a couple changes here for the Red Tornadoes offensively. Now it's Spears, and he's going to throw. He rolls to his right. He's under pressure. He's going to just throw, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Impt. So just like that, the Red Tornadoes give it right back, and it's 1st and 10 Trojans. They'll pick up a few yards for their troubles. It'll be down to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and that is a tough one there for the Red Tornadoes. Spears got a hand on him, thought he was going to be able to get that one out, but as he was yanked backwards, that ball kind of floated out there right over the defensive line, and Impt was there ready and waiting to take that one from him.
And it looks like it's going to be Woodward again getting the calls from Coach Smith over there. So they'll go back to kind of where they started with Woodward. They're going to have, see, Johnson. Johnson is going to be in the shotgun with Woodward. Kohik is kind of in the wing to the left. Renzo split out wide. They're going to throw it to Renzo. Woodward's going to throw it as far as he can. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Diaz does a really nice job out there, not allowing the push off there. He kind of held his ground as they were hand battling a little bit there, and didn't allow Renzo to really go and get that one.
So it's 2nd and 10 here.
And right after that, looks like a little little change up here in the looked like they wanted to take a shot after the turnover, but now we're going to see a little bit back to normal here.
Kohik behind Johnson. And Johnson, I think, has the football.
Yeah, he does.
He's going to be dropped after only maybe a yard. Actually, not even a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, so again, this is after the incompletion kind of got them off to a slow start on this drive, and then a really good job there defensively up front by the Red Tornadoes. It's been this all year long, Jim. It's hard to move the ball with success against this Red Tornado defensive front.
So Roy to the left, split out to the left, Renzo to the right. Roy comes in motion across the formation. Woodward's going to hit him with like a little flare pass, but it'll fall incomplete. So now it's 4th and 10.
Yeah, now this is going to be a huge play here. Moving forward, Jim, with this, we talked about it earlier. The first quarter flew by with how much these guys have run the ball, and we're already 4 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Trojans are going to try and pin the Red Tornadoes deep here.
I mean, I get it. I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With how your defense has been holding up.
It's definitely a good call.
But the Red Tornado sideline certainly looks like they expect a little funny business. They were jumping around, but Kimmick's just going to punt it away from everybody. So smart punt there.
Yeah.
It's going to go out of bounds. It looks like the 12.
Yes, sir. 12-yard line.
So a nice bit of directional punting by Kimmick's. It'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at their own 12-yard line. They're up 7-0 here with just under 8 minutes left in the first half of this District 4 2A semifinal matchup.
Yeah, now we'll see. It looks like we've got Feliciano and Spears in the game, so I think we're going to see Spears at that wing spot.
Yep, Davitt next to Feliciano back there. Otherwise, it was Widener. Everything else will stay the same. Widener, Chicatano, and Schultz, tight end. Davitt in motion. They'll fake it to him. Feliciano will keep it himself. He's the Red Tornadoes' leading rusher, mind you. He's going to get out near the 25, near a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's a good start there for Feliciano on this drive. Getting moving in the right direction right away.
Yep, it will be a 1st down, so great job there. Off to a fast start.
Yeah, especially after the quick turnover on the last drive, you want to get out there and get a quick 1st down, get moving in the right direction right away. So that's a good job there. And that offensive line just continues to impose their will on defenses.
This time it'll be Spears on that inside handoff, and now he's going to try to get in the open field. He'll be upended by Kohik at the 32. So it'll be a good gain of about 8, bring up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, you see, you get 3-4 guys out in front there on that play. We saw Nestico along with Widener, it looked like, and I think they had Kellen Geary in there as well, all pulling over on there, and did a really nice job. I got a little pancake block downfield there.
This will be Davitt up the middle, so he'll have the 1st down. Take a big hit there, and that one looks like, is that Woodward in there?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was Woodward that caught him.
Yeah.
So the quarterback delivering a little punishment of his own.
Yeah, coming from that safety spot, coming up and just kind of putting his shoulder down, hitting Davitt right in the midsection area. It looked like he almost chopped him in half there with coming in at full speed.
Yeah, so watch Kohik and Woodward. They crash hard, and Feliciano's going to keep it himself. There's some hard hitting down there, Dan. He'll get out to the 42-yard line, but it's going to be going to be a hard-fought 4 yards.
Absolutely, and it's the way each team's offense and defense runs. There's just 22 guys around the ball pretty much all the time. So offensively and defensively. So there's big hits going on because both of these teams are physical, and it's coming from 3-4 different directions because there's so many guys near the ball when contact is being made.
Spears in motion, but they're going to give it back to Davitt. And he's going to go inside, outside off that left side. And he should have another first down.
Jim, I kind of want to get in on that chant there with the with the fans down here. I like that first down chant. But that's another good run there by Davitt. Did a good job kind of just picking his way through and getting enough. And this drive here is going to be huge for the Red Tornadoes. It seems like they're taking a lot of time off the clock, and if they can finish it out with a score, they're not going to give it back to the Trojans with much time at all.
This time it goes to Widener as the up man, and Widener's going to stay on his feet, and he's going to have another Red Tornado first down.
Very close.
I don't like the spot on the far side. It may be correct. I don't mean that. I mean, it wasn't where I expected it to be.
Right. I mean, there were guys literally jumping on Widener's back, and as he continued to push forward and bowl forward. But, yeah, didn't get the first down, but got very close.
Yep, it'll be a yard short. The ball sits at the about the 43-yard line.
Yeah.
And it's Feliciano again, and he'll have the first down. And, Dan, one thing we want to talk about, I mentioned before about Feliciano being the Red Tornadoes' leading rusher coming into tonight, 132 carries, 847 yards, and 12 touchdowns. But he's also only the 5th Red Tornado quarterback to ever go over 800 yards.
Wow, that's impressive.
And he's third. He was coming in tonight, I think he was third overall in terms of yards.
Okay.
Excuse me, 4th, sorry, behind Doviak and 2 Nick Sebas seasons.
Wow, that's impressive. Those are good guys, good names to be mentioned with, for sure.
Davitt there. See where they mark him. I'm going to put him at the 34. So it's going to be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, Red Tornadoes, these plays that normally throughout the last few weeks of the season were cracking for 10, 12 yards every carry. Now tonight they're 3, 4, 5 yards every carry, but they're still being successful.
And there's Spears, and he got walloped on that one. It looked like it was number 2, Jackson Taylor, so he's been doing a nice job from his position there. And Dan, what it looks like is whoever the end is, I don't know if it's because they run that 3-3 stack or what, but they're not giving up. The Trojans, that is, are not giving up the edge.
Absolutely not. And when they turned that back inside, that was when Jackson, that was when he was able to come and make that big hit from the inside there. But yeah, it's a 3-3 stack, but it's more like a 3-5, and they walk those defensive ends up, as you can see.
Now Steller is the Wildcat. He'll take the snap, and he'll have the first down, and he's still on his feet down to the 22-yard line. So, and you got to think, Dan, we've got 2.5 minutes left here in the first half. You got to think they're going to throw. Red Tornadoes are going to try to throw this at some point. Those Trojan safeties are so close to the line of scrimmage.
I think if they get into I think this would be the time to do it. 1st and 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to throw it, I think this would be the time, because you're right. They are creeping up and up more and more.
And it's the fake sweep there. Feliciano keeping himself. And he's going to run hard and fight. We got driven backwards towards the end, so we'll have to see where forward progress was. Looks like it's going to be about a foot short of the first down.
Oh, wow. Very close.
So that'll place the ball just outside the 13. Nope, it is a first down. Okay.
Yeah. Close enough to call it, That's one of those ones.
And now it's Steller, and Steller will get inside the 10. Minute 40 and counting. Again, the Red Tornadoes are in a great position here. No need to use timeouts, no need to do anything but execute your offense.
They're in such a great spot right now. You're right, Jim, and this is exactly what they wanted to do. They got the ball back with just under 8 minutes. I think it was 7 minutes and 57 seconds, and they're going to work this down. They can work this all the way to the half.
And that's Widener now. And Widener is going to be very close.
And if I'm the Trojans right now, I think I'm probably starting to use my timeouts at this point.
Well, Widener got a first down, so the clock stopped there for a second. So now it's 1st and goal from the 2.
It's going to be under a minute, and probably well under a minute, because now the Red Tornadoes in no hurry to run this play.
Yeah, and I think with Coach Dara having his full complement of timeouts, I mean, you can snap this. If you get stopped, you don't even have to call your timeout yet again.
Right.
You get up on the line slowly. Feliciano keeps it himself, and he's going to be in from 2 yards out, excuse me. So it'll be 13-0 Red Tornadoes with 41 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, and that is huge for the Red Tornadoes. Great job, just eating a ton of clock, over 7 minutes on that drive, able to methodically move that ball down the field and finish it off with 6 points. So that's a huge drive to go up 2 scores before the half.
It's a good snap and a good hold, and Stellar's kick is up, and that is no good. So it'll stay 13-0 Red Tornadoes here at the Silverbowl. Again, 41 seconds left in this first half. And Dan, I got to ask you something. So
yeah,
the Red Tornadoes have been on this win streak.
Yep.
They've won 6 in a row.
Yep.
And they've won in convincing fashion. Started a little slow tonight.
Yeah, they did.
You think you need to kind of get punched in the mouth a little bit with maybe Stellar gets shoved out of bounds? You need something to wake you up? You realize you're kind of in a dogfight here?
I think so. I think that sometimes you need a spark. I mean every offensive player has been a spark this year, especially during this 6 game win streak. Every run has gone for positive yards, for plus yards. Everybody's been breaking off these big long runs. So you get Stellar getting pushed into the bench there out of bounds. You get Diaz breaking off that long run. I think those are the things that kind of rev you up and wake you up a little bit, because it might not be the case, but sometimes it's hard to remember that, hey, this is not next week against Southern. We're not there yet. We have to get to that point.
Stellar leases his kick. And it's just going to get in the end zone for a touchback. That ball was slowing down quickly.
And that would have spelled trouble for the Trojans there.
Well, again, because you got to, like we said before, Coach Dara's got all 3 of his timeouts. So if it's 1st and 10 Trojans from the 1, well, you don't know what's going to happen there.
Right. Yeah, but like I was saying, Jim, usually we get to this point, the Red Tornadoes get to this point, they dominate this game, and then it's next week at Southern Columbia. The last few years that they've been in the district playoffs, that has been the case. But you still got to play the team in front of you. And I think that was a little bit of the wake-up there from the Big Red.
Yep. And the Red Tornadoes here, this is only the 5th time they've ever played the Trojans, and all have happened since 2000.
Wow.
Fortunately, the Red Tornadoes have been 3-1 in the first 4 matchups. The Trojans are going to hand it off to Kohik, and there's a lot of red jerseys there, so they seem like they might be just as content as everybody else to take this to the half.
Yeah, that's a good job by Geary making the tackle there. But I think you're right, Jim. I think they're going to – they don't have to run another play. They may, but they don't have to.
We're under 17 seconds now left. They're going to come up on the ball. So
and you see Farinato very deep. Now he's coming up closer to the line here.
They're going to snap it. And Woodward's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get slammed. And now we'll see. We'll see the end of the half, Dan. That's it. All zeros. Nobody called the timeout. That is the end of the first half. So after 24 minutes of play, the Red Tornadoes are on top of the Troy Trojans, 13-0. So we're going to break here for a moment. We will be back with stats in the second half. Stay with us. Hello and welcome back to the Silverbowl here, where we've got the District 4 Class 2A semifinal matchup between the Red Tornadoes from Mount Carmel and the Troy Trojans. The Red Tornadoes are on top 13-0 at the half. Again, tonight's game is sponsored by the Fraternal Order of the Eagles, and motto, people helping people. So, Dan, 13-0. I don't know that that's the way that I thought the first half was going to go.
Definitely not.
But fortunately, thanks to Jose, we've got some numbers to put kind of together with what we saw on the field. So can you run through those for us?
Yeah, so for the Big Red, currently 30 carries for 161 yards.
Okay, that sounds normal.
Yeah, 12 first downs. 0 of 2 passing, so no need to add anything up there. 161 total yards for the Big Red. And for the Trojans, 16 carries for 20 yards. 0 of 2 passing as well, 3 first downs. So this has been a different first half than we are used to seeing. I mean, the 161 yards and the 30 carries, that's something that we're not unaccustomed to seeing.
Right.
But it's just the points. We haven't seen the points up there on the board that we're used to.
Yeah, I think so. One thing that's interesting is you mentioned 160 yards. You mentioned 160 yards there, so that puts, again, rough math here, that puts the Red Tornado offense at about, 39, 47 or so, as far as the yards on the season go. And based on what Jose had given us at the outset,
yeah,
that would be the all-time record for most yards rushed for in 12 games.
In a 12, yes. In 12
still
games.
Still about 200 yards short of the 15-game record, but certainly this rushing attack continues to kind of just break records, really.
Yeah, and Jose actually just hit me with some more individual stats here from the first half. So currently Stellar has 10 carries for 37 yards. Feliciano has 7 for 40. Diaz has 4 for 29, which is pretty impressive considering he took a big loss on one of his carries there. And Davitt is 5 for 29 right now. So these guys are all kind of, we got 40 and 40 and 30 and 30, essentially, if we want to round.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here, again, we saw the Red Tornadoes, they have the interception. Not ideal. The Red Tornadoes had to punt. Again, something we haven't seen a whole lot of lately.
Right.
And on the other side, the Trojans punted twice.
Yep.
And you've got the fumble.
Yeah. So it's been a back and forth game. It's been an interesting game for sure in that first half. It's been quick, Jim. It is 8:03 is what I have on my watch right now.
Well, you said, what did we get, about 4 passes?
Yeah, each team 0 of 2.
Yeah.
So that's 4 stoppages there, and then, the change of possessions, guys being out of bounds is first downs. But other than that, this clock has been winding.
And you think it took, 10 minutes to figure out the end of the first half to get all that sorted out.
Yeah, you're right. First quarter, you mean?
Or, excuse me, first quarter.
But, yeah, you're right. It definitely did. So we'll see the Red Tornado defense to get things started here. So we'll see what kind of adjustments were made on both sides of the ball. Red Tornadoes didn't really have to make too many adjustments. Defensively, at least. They might have made some adjustments offensively to get these plays to pop a little bit more. But the Trojans, hopefully, for their sake, were able to, analyze a little bit of what happened in the first half and make something happen to change things around here, change their fortune.
So let me ask you this, Dan, as a former player, is going into halftime when it's 35 out any different than when it's 65? Do you do different things to stay warm and stay loose? You're worried about kind of tightening up in the cold?
Yeah, you definitely do. Coming out of the half, you definitely do a little bit more stretching. You want to be, because you go in the locker room, you sit down and you talk, you tighten up quick. So you really want to get right back at it. But at the same time, when it's warmer, 60 degrees is perfect. You don't get mad at that. But when it's first week, second week, and it's 70, 80 degrees, you're worried about cramping up. So it's you're always trying to prepare, and as the season progresses, you're doing that a little bit differently.
Stellar to kick off for the Red Tornadoes. It looks like it's Kimmicks, one of the deep men. It's actually going to be, that's Kohik that's going to take it. at about the 12. It'll be dragged down. Looks like Miller in there on the tackle.
Yeah, I think Belichick might have been in there as well. Looked like number 7 getting up off the pile too.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10. Trojans, the ball sits at the 28-yard line.
Let me specify number 7, Matt Belichick, not Chase Belichick.
Well, I think we're starting to build a rule here in Mount Carmel that a Belichick has to be involved in every special teams tackle.
Yeah. They definitely make themselves known on special teams.
Woodward's going to keep it himself, and Schultz is going to slam him down. He's going to try to get that edge, and he won't be able to get there. So great job by 15, cutting him off at the pass. He'll lose a yard.
And, Jim, I'm glad that you were able to see that there, because when Woodward takes that snap, he's crouched way down there under the center, and I couldn't even see him. I saw the players start moving. I didn't know who had the ball or what had happened there.
Yeah, I think I've probably been wrong more tonight than I have in a couple weeks. That's not really anything totally new, but it's a little harder to see. And this time it's going to be, I think that's Johnson.
Yeah.
15, yep, okay. It was 15.
Yeah.
He'll get 2. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Stellar did a really good job of meeting him in the hole there. That's good gap responsibility there, gap coverage by Stellar coming from his linebacker spot. And that's one of those things they call a clear read for a linebacker. You get a block down and you get a kick out. That's your gap responsibility. That's where the play's coming. And Stellar read it well, got up there and made the play almost at the line of scrimmage.
So they're going to stay super tight here on 3rd and 9. It's a real wing tee. Kimmicks comes in motion. They're going to give it to Kohik, and now he's on the right side, and it's a good tackle out there made by Diaz, but we'll see if he got enough for the first. That looked scary from up here, Dan. I thought Kohik had some space.
So did I. Diaz did a great job of staying home, and it looks like they're going to mark this. They're going to call this a first down, and they are. But you're right. That a 9-yard gain there is a lot better for the Red Tornadoes, at least, than the alternative if Diaz would have, bid on that as well and been caught peeking in the backfield there.
So same tight look. Kimmick's in motion again. This time they'll give it to him up the middle, and it's going to be Schultz who hits him first again. Tank Kelly's going to finish him off, and that's not a man I want falling on me.
Absolutely not. You're right. Schultz wrapped him up there, and Kelly came over the top and, man, landed with a lot of force.
I should say Matt Kelly. You don't get a nickname like Tank being a small kid, though.
No, you definitely don't. Definitely don't. And considering most people know him as that as well. That's a lot of the fans and stuff like that, they don't call him Matt. They call him Tank.
Right, so gain of a yard there, 2nd and 9, 9:25 left in the third quarter, 13-0 Red Tornadoes. And it's Kohik again, and the Red Tornadoes are home, more than just Diaz this time. Kohik will get across the 40 out to the 43, they're going to say, which will make it about a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and defensively, that was a good job there. It looked like Liam Bradley was at the defensive end spot there and stayed home. He ended up taking on the trapper, the pulling offensive lineman there, and didn't make the play, but stayed home and forced Kohik to turn that back upfield.
That'll be Roy and Renzo are split to the right. Woodward's going to roll that way, and he's going to throw it. It's incomplete. Was looking for Roy. A fault harmlessly to the turf now. It's going to be 4th down, and the Trojans will likely punt.
Yeah, it looks like there's some personnel changes, so they are going to punt here. But that's a good job there defensively in the defensive backfield. Looked like Spears coming over and separating that ball. The throw was a little bit behind Roy, but they did a good job of getting coverage in the defensive backfield there.
We're going to get a timeout here for the Red Tornadoes. So had a little trouble coming out to cover that punt. Again, the Trojans have been when they've gone in that punt formation, they've been pretty wide.
Yeah.
They've got a couple gunners on both sides, and I think there's just a little confusion about who's got what responsibility.
Yeah, who's covering who, especially considering we've got Kimmicks back there doing the punting, it looks like, Jim, right? And I mean, he's, he was the quarterback throughout the majority of the season. He moved into that running back role this game. But you don't want to leave a receiver or a gunner, whatever you want to call him here, uncovered with him there taking the snap.
Yeah, and Kimmicks, I mean, he can run it too. He came into tonight's matchup with almost 400 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns to go with the 200 yards passing.
Yeah.
So he can do a lot for you. So you're all the more important, to your point, Dan, to make sure that everything's covered.
Absolutely.
But he is going to punt this away. It's going to be in Spears' direction. It's going to take a Trojan bounce and stop just north of the 25.
Yeah,
so the Red Tornadoes will start from there.
Yeah, we'll see this Red Tornado offense, taking the field for the first time in the second half. Got a nice stop there. Bend but don't break a little bit. Gave up the 1 first down on a little bit of a trick play. So we'll give them a little bit of a break for that one, because that one's a tough one, especially if you're not prepared for it. But did a nice job getting the stop and getting the ball back for their offense.
Last time the Red Tornadoes had the ball, they took over 7 minutes off the clock en route to scoring 6 points, and they'll see if they can have a similar effect here as they give it to Stellar up the middle across the 30 to the 32, gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
And Jim, this Red Tornado front and pretty much anybody that is blocking right now, looks like they're out there to send a message that this is our half. Like we're back. You guys got a little break from us at halftime, but we're back.
This time it's Feliciano, and now he'll have the first down. And one thing I'm noticing, Dan, that we didn't have in the first half, Farinato's in there on the wing.
Oh, yeah. And we talked about it at halftime. We weren't sure if we were going to see him in there because, I mean, he's such an integral part of that defense, especially at that safety spot, especially now that you have somebody that's not used to being in there at the other safety with Verano not playing.
Right.
I thought maybe that's why they were giving him a little bit of a break there, but you're right. We'll see him in there. This is more of the normal offense we're used to seeing.
And it's Feliciano, and he's going to get the corner initially. He's going to lose 2 yards there, but it could have been worse. There was immediate pressure from the Trojans, and Pedro did all he could to make the initial man miss, who I believe was Renzo.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse. Looked like there was a run blitz dialed up there, kind of where the puller was coming from, and got in there quickly. But you're right, Feliciano, that could have been a 5-6 yard loss, and only ended up being a loss of 2. But we'll see again. This Red Tornado offense, other than that play there, got off to a hot start.
Feliciano's going to throw. He's got Widener. He's going to get out to the 45-yard line, so nice job there. Getting it down to a 3rd and manageable. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that's a really good job there by Feliciano. Just realizing there's a check down there and finding them. He didn't have anybody open downfield. The Trojans did a pretty good job of covering that, but getting this back to a 3rd and manageable was really where they wanted to get after kind of getting behind the sticks there.
So again, by the time this play's over, we'll be under 6 minutes in the 3rd quarter, already past the halfway point. And they're going to go to Widener right up the middle, and he'll have the first down. A good job there by 44 Shane Widener. Still going. We get inside the 45, down to the 44.
Ryan Widener, Jim. It's Shane
Did
Widener.
I say Shane?
Yeah. Name we got used to calling out there a few years ago.
Shane's also here tonight. I saw him at halftime, so that's probably on my mind.
That'll happen. Yeah,
Ryan
that'll happen.
Widener, yep.
Nice run there by Widener. Did a good job. Comes up a little shaken after that. Really working hard there, fighting for those yards.
Widener came into tonight, and he's probably had, 4 carries or so, I think, already tonight. He came in as one of the many Red Tornadoes who'd rushed for 100 yards this season, 23 for 177. Adding to that total for sure, but this time it's Stellar. And now Stellar's in the open field, and Stellar is gone. So while there's a lot of activity behind the play, the Red Tornadoes are putting more on the board. It's 19-0 based on a 44-yard touchdown run from the Red Tornadoes. Senior captain Julian Steller.
Yeah, and that's a great job there by Steller. You know, getting into the open field, and then you see him get moving, and get those arms pumping, and he breaks that one big. Does a great job putting another 6 on the board for the Big Red.
Red Tornadoes going to go for 2 here.
Yeah, and I think that's a good decision here. You want to stretch this to a full 3-score lead here, and when we're going for 2, it's only right to have Steller in there in the Wildcat.
He's going to take it off that right side, and he's in. Nice and easy, untouched.
And there's going to be a late flag here, too.
And I'll tell you right now, that late flag.
Probably a makeup.
I think so, because there was one missed on the touchdown run that absolutely needed to be called.
Yeah, it was right in front of the ref, too.
You just got to stay in control of these games.
Absolutely. Especially, this team, this is going to be probably 15 yards on the kickoff now, I would assume.
Yep. Yep, so that's what was indicated. Personal foul against the Trojans. Be assessed on the kickoff. The 2-point conversion is good. So 21-zip Red Tornadoes here. 5:16 left in the third quarter, and that's 2 straight drives now that the Red Tornadoes have scored on across the halves after maybe sputtering a little bit to get started tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We talked about it, that this game was really going to come down to the trenches, and that's where the Red Tornadoes make their money at. They make their money up front. Their offensive and defensive lines are huge, and the Troy came in playing a little bit more physical than we've been accustomed to seeing from some of these northern tier teams. But this Red Tornadoes team is just starting to really impose their will. They're really starting to take over the game.
Well, what I think we got to talk about too that I find interesting at least is we've seen it a couple times now. I think especially since the Shamokin game.
Yeah.
Where Steller's speed always surprises me. And I know that's not fair to say. Like he's up he came into tonight with 760 yards.
Yeah.
He's probably up around 100 now. So he's pushing 1,000 yards. He's scored all kinds of points. I think Jose said, he's done something ridiculous, like scored points in 34 out of 37 career games.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. And I'm just always surprised when he gets in the open field, he hits that extra gear and runs away from the defenders.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it, a lot of his touchdowns are, 3-4 yard plunges from the Wildcat spot in the red zone. So we don't see him get into the open field that often.
Steller's going to kick that one.
Ooh.
So that he kicks that one with the courtesy of 15 yards. It hits right at the goal line, just barely inside.
Yeah.
And then died.
Caught a piece of the goal line there, giving him the touchback.
There was a part of me that wouldn't have been surprised if we saw him do that little onside kick where he runs the side of it there.
Yeah.
Just because you had the benefit of the extra 15 yards.
Right.
So if you don't recover it, it's not as bad as it is if you do it from your own 45.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the 15 yards on either one of those plays, the touchdown or the extra point, they aren't. You don't really benefit too much from them, honestly, because Steller kicked a touchback earlier in the game.
All right, so Woodward hands it up that time. I think that's to Johnson. I think he said it. It's all happening so fast. Yep, that's Johnson.
Yeah,
all right.
Johnson.
A lot of this is just going off field,
And it's tight in there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so tight, and they're getting right up in there, and there's all these white and red. That doesn't help things either.
Sometimes it's a quick process of elimination, where I look at it and say, all right, Woodward doesn't have the ball anymore. He didn't give it to Kohik. Probably Johnson.
Right. It's usually easier to tell, like you said, if you can tell Woodward doesn't have the ball, and the deep guy doesn't have it, then Johnson's got it.
Johnson got 4 there. It's 2nd and 6 now. This time it looks like Woodward kept it himself. Davitt, Schultz, Bradley, all kinds of red jerseys in there. He'll lose a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Woodward did keep it himself, and was not a great idea, because you're right. There were a lot of red jerseys there, a lot of Tornadoes defenders there to meet him right away, and there wasn't much for him to do. I think that if I'm on the Trojan sideline there calling plays, I think I'm changing things up a little bit. I know this is their offense. This is where they make their money at, but the Red Tornadoes seem to have figured this offense out.
We'll see what they opt to go for here. Again, it's third and about 7.
Yeah, and they're getting closer. They're going to have to get this play off quick.
And they do just in time. Woodward rolls out. He wants to throw, and he's going to throw it deep for Renzo. And he's got Renzo, who's still on his feet. Diaz is going to stop him. But a huge play there on 3rd and long. They'll complete the first pass of the night by either team.
Yeah.
I take that back. First pass of the night for the Trojans.
Yeah, right.
And it's a big one. It's going to get down to the, where are they going to mark it, Dan? Right at the 20. We'll see, is it the 20s? Nope, 22 is where the far official is. So they'll say the 22. That's going to be about 54 yards.
Yeah, and Jim, just as I mentioned it, that they needed to kind of change things up a little bit, they decide to go to the air, and Woodward, for being a freshman, throws a nice ball out there where only Renzo could get it, and made a nice play.
Yeah, and they get back on it quick. Woodward keeps it himself, and he's going to take a hit for his efforts there. He'll get maybe a yard.
Yeah, and again, this defensive front for the Red Tornadoes is getting a lot of penetration. They're not giving up much. Whether he hands that or keeps it, he's not even getting the opportunity to think about pitching it back to Kohik, because as soon as he's pulling that ball out of the fullback's stomach, he's getting hit.
Clock winds to 2:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Red Tornadoes on top 21-0. Woodward to throw again. He looks for Chimix, and he's got him. It's going to be close. I think he'll have a first down out there. Yep,
yeah.
Chains are going to move. We'll see if they're going to spot that. Is that at the 12?
Yeah, and the Big Red defenders are given, the corners are given a lot of space. So that little quick hitter there, that 10-yard little hitch, they're just running out there with the cornerback backpedaling already.
Yeah.
All they got to do is turn around, and it's an easy throw there for Woodward.
Now it's Renzo and Roy split out. High formation behind, and they go a hard count for the Trojans. They'll pick up 5 there as the Red Tornadoes jump. Take it down to the 7.
Yeah, and this is the second week in a row that we've seen the Red Tornadoes get caught with an offside penalty, and I think those are the first 2 of the entire season, Jim. Usually that defensive line super disciplined there.
So now it's 1st and 5 from the 7. Trojans trying to find the end zone for the first time tonight and to cut into that 3-score lead.
Like a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, Woodward kept it himself there.
Real close to a first down too, Jim. A little short.
So they'll mark it at the 3, so it'll be 2nd and a yard.
I'm not sure if the Trojans kind of have a headset listening to our broadcast, but as soon as I mentioned about them changing things up on offense, it seems like they have, and it's been paying dividends here.
I think that's what it was, Dan. Woodward is in.
I'm not sure where he came from, though. There was a big pile up there at the 2-yard line, and then somehow Woodward found his way around it. Second effort, got into the end zone.
I'm not really sure. If you're watching at home, rewind that one for yourself. Try to track Woodward and see if he squirted out of the pile or if he bounced to the outside. But
that's what I'm thinking he did, because it seemed like he came up on the side of the pile there.
Nevertheless, it's 21-7 now on the back of that Woodward 2-yard plunge. 41 seconds left in the 3rd quarter here, and the Trojans have answered.
Yeah, so again, now we'll see the Red Tornadoes in that. Now, defensively, you've kind of taken a little bit of a gut punch here, but you've still got a 2-score lead. So offensively, you got to come out and just do what you've been doing. Your offense has been humming since the last drive of the first half And then the first time you get the ball here in the second half, your offense is killing it. You're doing a great job. You're moving the ball at will. Just come out and do the same thing. You know what I mean? Nothing has to change offensively. You still have a 2-score lead. No need to press at this point.
And I think you got to protect the ball is a big thing too, because to your point, Dan, with what this offense has done and the amount of time they've been able to hold the ball and the length of some of these drives, you have to know that Coach Smith on the Trojan sideline is preaching his team like, hey, we've got to create a possession here. We've got to get an extra one.
Absolutely, yeah. You're down 2 scores, and you're having a little bit of trouble. And you see the Red Tornadoes with the hands team out there. I think it's a good decision here, just speaking about the Trojans trying to get an extra possession.
So Kimmicks will kick off, and that's exactly what it's going to be. But a good job there by Shikatano to just fall on top of it. And we're going to get a late flag there against the Trojans.
Yeah, definitely.
So the ball sits where Shikatano fell on it at the 46, and I think we're going to add 15 to this in the Red Tornado favor.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen here, which is going to be huge again for the Red Tornadoes.
So we'll wait for the official call. Personal foul against the Trojans. So they'll walk off the 15. It looks like, I guess they'll walk it off from the 45, so it's going to get down to the 40.
Okay.
Looked like where they started.
Yeah. Or no, I think you're right. Just ahead of the 45 there, so we'll get the ball at the 39. It's inside the 40. So that's really good starting field position for the Big Red. And again, for an offense that's been humming the last 2 drives they've had the ball, you want to get the ball in favorable field position.
You got David in there with Feliciano rather than Stellar, and David will keep it himself up the middle. He's going to get out near the 35. Give him 4, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, nice run there by David. Really good job.
So we'll see again. The Red Tornadoes have a 2-score lead. Have somewhat of a nice control over this game. So they'll see here if they run another play before the end of the 3rd quarter. They don't have to, and it looks like they won't.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to, Jim.
And it's hard to blame them, really.
No, you're right. Especially with, the big pass that we saw from the Trojans on the last drive just showed how quickly they could eat up some yards.
Yeah.
So you don't want to give that ball back to them. Even if you do put another score up and push this to a 3-score lead again, you don't want to give them the ball back with any time.
Yep, so that's zeros here on the clock. So again, at the end of 3, the Red Tornadoes lead the Trojans 21-7 in this District 4 Class 2A semifinal matchup. Now, Dan, we talked about the Trojans out there and kind of playing with a little edge.
Yeah.
This is a team that's had a lot of success as of late. This is the 4th time, I believe, in the last 5 years, if I read the paper correctly, that they've been in the semifinals in district playoffs.
Yeah.
So they're starting to taste that success. And, of course, like anything else, you start to taste a little bit, you want more.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And I think, every year you think you have that team. And then, if you get to the semifinals and you just meet somebody that's just a little bit tougher than you a little bit, and you see the way that they're playing. All right, we lost to this team. This team was super physical. We lost to this team. This team was super physical. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you kind of breed that and bring that up. The freshmen that are now seniors that were there 4 years ago, they remember, okay, we lost this team because they were super physical, so we have to be that just as physical.
David again. David's going to be tackled after a couple yards. We'll try to see. That was 12 Roy on the tackle, so Roy mixing it up offensively and defensively.
Yeah, we got another 3rd and medium here for the Big Red. It's not exactly where they want to be at, but 4-down territory, I would assume, at this point of the game for the Big Red.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Given the field, the down and distance, all those things, you probably got 2 plays to pick up 5 here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it to Farinato, and he's only going to need 1. Farinato's in the open field. It's a race to the corner, and Farinato's going to win this one. It's 27-7 Red Tornadoes, 34 yards for Michael Farinato.
Yeah, and that's huge there again for the Big Red. We talked about they want to eat up some clock, but if you're able to stretch that lead to 3 scores, you don't really need to eat up clock, because now they got to score another one if they want a chance to catch up.
So 48 seconds into the fourth quarter, the Red Tornadoes strike again for their 4th touchdown of the night. All 4 on the ground. 2 for Stellar, 1 for Feliciano, and now 1 for Fernando. And Stellar's kick is up, and that one is good. So it'll be a nice, clean 28-7 score. Stellar's 133rd.
I think that's 132, Jim. If I am correct.
Check the notes. Yep, 132. Thanks, Dan.
You got it.
So 132, 1 shy of the career mark by Mike Sinkovich.
Yep.
But again, as we said before, right now just focus on coming away with a win and keeping the season going one more week.
That's it. And, offensively, they're doing a really good job. Defensively as well. I mean, holding this Trojans team, this Trojan defense has been very good all year long. I think we talked about it earlier. I think they've only given up 70 or so points.
Yeah, before I think they had a tough time in Week 10.
Okay,
against,
but in the first 9
yeah,
weeks.
I think undefeated Canton put some points up, and it was a weird, like I think we talked about, it was a weird game.
Yeah, because that was Week 10 with all the rain.
Right.
Yep.
So, but now the Trojans have a bit of an interesting kick return setup too, almost as they're expecting a little funny business.
Yeah, they do.
We'll see if Stellar delivers. He's just going to drive it. Little watermelon style. He'll be picked up by Renzo at the 15. And he'll be upended by Davitt. He'll get out to the 34. 1st and 10, Trojans.
Yeah, now we'll see the adjustments by this Red Tornadoes team. Like you said, they saw a little bit of success in the air for the Trojans, and we've also seen a little bit of success with kind of just, quick hitters. Instead of running their normal option, which does take a little bit of time to develop in the backfield there, just quick little quarterback sneaks and straight handoffs kind of is what got them into the end zone on their last drive.
Kimmick's in motion. They'll pitch it to him. He's going to try to get the edge. Doesn't do it. Diaz does a good job. Spears does a good job of sending him back inside for the linebackers to clean him up. He'll get 5, though. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that's a real nice job there defensively by the Tornadoes. But you're right. They were able to get enough of a push. It looked like Troy was able to get enough of a push up front that even though that play got turned back inside, they still were able to get a couple yards there.
This one's to Kohick, the pitch. And he's going to be hit hard.
Schultz does a nice job there at that defensive end spot, fighting over top of a block, turning that inside, and I think he was the one that made the tackle there as well.
Yeah, it looked like it. I think he's going to lose about half a yard on that one. But, Dan, you made this point early on. Sure, we saw the Trojans with the big pitch and catch there from Woodward to Roy, but to Lorenzo. But not necessarily a team built to come back from multiple scores in a short amount of time.
And Jim, that's exactly what was going through my head, right? Because right now they're not only fighting against this Red Tornado defense, but they're also working against the clock as well.
That's why I think everybody in the stadium, Chimmick is going to throw it now. He's under pressure. He'll float it out there. Stellar's got a beat on it, but it'll be caught.
Wow.
And that's number 20, Mason Woodward. So he's going to catch that inside the inside the 50. Oh, okay. So he's out of bounds to 49. That looked, I thought he was further than that.
Definitely looked like he had more, but I think that's where, kind of where he got pushed out. But really nice job there.
Now they'll go back to the bread and butter. Woodward, Evan, that is, keeps it himself. He'll gain a yard, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Jim, this is one of those situations where, for the Trojans, where you kind of have to pull out all the stops. hate to quote the water boy, but last game of the year, can't hold anything back.
Right.
You know, and you know the way it's looking right now, like you said, with down 3 scores with 9 minutes and counting left in the game. This is where it is. You know, this if you don't get these 3 scores back, this is the last game of the year for you.
This time Kohik comes in motion slowly. He's going to get a little movement there. They'll hand it to Johnson, but he won't get much further than the 45. So it's going to be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, so we'll see now with this Red Tornado defense doing a good job, just working hard up the middle here. We'll see what they decide to do. What the Trojans decide to do, if they're going to drop back and try and put that ball in the air, or if they're going to continue on the ground. Because I think at some point here you have to just commit to we got to put the ball in the air.
At some point you got to drop back every time.
Yeah.
And Woodward's certainly going to throw this time. It's low and incomplete for Renzo, so it'll be 4th down. Yeah, Dan, you get to a point where an incomplete pass is better than a 2-yard gain.
Yeah,
right on the ground.
Most definitely, yeah. Yeah, if you're going to, especially, like we said, you're not only working against the defense right now, you're working against the clock too. So really any time you can get the clock to stop, rather than, like you said, a 2, 3, even a 4 or 5 yard gain, if it's not for a touchdown or a first down, you really would need to put the ball in the air.
Coach Smith going to take his first time out of the half here with 8:01 left in the 4th quarter. His team trailing the Red Tornadoes 28-7 in the District 4 Class 2A semifinal matchup here. And Dan, I'm not surprised Coach Smith took the time out there because, again, while you don't want to sound kind of hyperbolic, there's a sense that the game may ride on this play.
Oh, yeah.
I think if they come up short and the Red Tornadoes take over with, less than 8 minutes on the clock and a 3-score lead, it's going to be really tough for the Trojans to fight back.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, and not to, like you said, not to sound like doom and gloom for the Trojans, but I think even if you do get this first down, it's still an uphill climb. It is still a very uphill battle to get back into this game. But you're right. Any opportunity, any chance to get back into this game is riding on this play.
So they've got kind of a bunch set to the short side of the field. Now they bring Kohik in motion, and they're going to run a reverse, and they're going to pick up the first down, I think. That was with number 2. I think that's Jackson Taylor, and they're going to get that first down, it looks like.
Yeah, it's very, very close, but you're right. They did get the first down, but again, even though they got the first down, that ball's placed, and that clock is ticking.
This game's been moving a little bit like both teams are double parked.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. No urgency, really.
Trying to keep everything moving. And I think, like we talked about it before, regardless of the outcome here, Woodward's a freshman. These are all valuable snaps and appearances here, and he's under pressure. He's going to throw it incomplete. Now, all kinds of flags thrown are going to be against the Red Tornadoes there for likely a pass interference, but that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where that ball was.
Yeah, I don't think that ball was going to be able to be caught either way, but they're definitely, I think they're going to get Spears there for a pass interference, but it's a tough one for sure because there's no way that ball was going to be catchable.
Right. Yeah, a few tough ones for the Red Tornadoes tonight, but again, fortunately, they've been able to persevere.
Yeah.
Now again, shotgun look, and this is what we talked about before. At some point, the Trojans were going to have to commit throwing the football.
Right.
And just right on cue, Woodward runs it again. So that shows what I know. Inside the 20. He's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
And again, this is a little bit more speed, or a little bit more urgency now from the Trojans. When it seems like when Woodward brings that play into the huddle, they're sprinting up to the line of scrimmage, getting ready to go.
Woodward has Johnson to his right. He's going to throw. He's looking for Kimmicks, who runs a double move, and it's incomplete. Good coverage out there by Spears.
Yeah, that's a really good job there by Spears.
Looks like Farinato got himself involved as well in the double move. There's a red, well, I can't say for sure it's a red tornado because everybody's got red pants on
No,
tonight.
I think that's a Trojan, Jim.
Yep.
11. There's 11 red tornadoes out there. I'm counting them as they're walking towards the sideline. So that is a Trojan injured there.
Yep. So just a couple things here while the Trojan is tended to. I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago where Mr. Demansky over in the PA box, he has started what he likes to call the tornado throwback, where he kind of gives some updates on some red tornadoes.
Yeah.
And a couple of former red tornadoes, guys that played for red tornadoes, and now he wants to talk about what they're doing, guys that are playing baseball at the next level.
Okay.
So for one, Damon Daukus, right? We talk about Damon a lot. 2021 MCA grad. Damon's currently playing baseball at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, wearing number 29. Familiar.
Okay.
Damon's double majoring in finance and economics. In his first semester at IUP, he's maintaining straight A's and wants to continue to be successful in playing the sport he loves while making his family proud. So best of luck to you, Damon, and the Crimson Hawks this spring. Next up is Jack Chapman. Again, another fan favorite here. 2020 MCA grad. Jack is playing right field for East Stroudsburg. Off the diamond, Jack is maintaining a 3.8 GPA as an exercise science major and sport management minor. His goal is to open his own physical therapy business after graduating. So, Jack, best of luck to you and East Stroudsburg baseball this spring as the Troy player is up and helped off the field. I'm not sure, Dan, did you catch a jersey number?
Yeah, I didn't catch the number there. But
sometimes we can track through the sideline to see exactly who it is.
Yeah. It looks like a big kid. I don't want to call out a name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wrong. Impt was one of the ones helping him
right
off the field there. But I want to say, looks like a 60? Looks like it may have been Isaiah Ballard.
I think he was one of the captains tonight as well.
Yeah. It looked like a 60 to me, but not entirely sure.
3rd and 5 for the Trojans. Woodward's going to keep it himself up the middle, and that's not going to work this time. A lot of red tornadoes there ready for him.
Yeah, you are correct. And looked like Woodward got a little airborne there.
So it's going to bring up 4th down.
And again, another big 4th down here for the Big Red.
Your clock continues to tick. We're at the halfway mark now of the 4th quarter. 6 minutes left in this one. The Red Tornadoes hold a commanding 28-7 lead at this juncture. The Trojans been able to put together a little bit of a drive here, but they're facing a 4th and 3 from the Red Tornado 17. Woodward's going to throw, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted.
Feliciano, I think. Yep.
Feliciano's going to return it.
There's going to be a flag here on the Red Tornado sideline.
So big interception by Feliciano there on 4th down. Return that. The ball's going to sit right now. See where exactly where he got knocked out of bounds. He got knocked out of bounds at the 45, so you're right, Dan. The penalty there is a red zone sideline infraction.
Warning.
But a warning, right.
Yes.
So the ball is sit at the 45, and with 5:35 left, the Red Tornadoes have to feel good about their chances at this point.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach Dara, you're definitely feeling good. That turnover there with the 3-score lead kind of may have sealed the deal. Now the Trojans have to hope for a quick turnover here.
Spears in there at the quarterback. He's going to hand it to Stellar off the right side. And Stellar, man, he's running tough inside Troy territory. But just quickly, our final tornado throwback this evening is Tommy Reisinger, 2020 MCA grad. Tommy's currently wearing number 11 and is a starting pitcher for East Stroudsburg baseball. He's majoring in exercise science and maintaining a 3.4 GPA. This past summer, Tom played for the Syracuse Saltcats in New York and will be playing for the Wilson Toms baseball team in Wilson, North Carolina for the summer 2022. Tom's future goals are to continue to develop on the field and become an MLB draft pick. So best of luck to you, Tom, and the Warriors on the diamond this spring. And there's a quick snap to Spears.
Yeah, that
doesn't look like he was ready for it.
No.
Did the best he could. Gave it to David. David will lose a yard, but again, that one could have been much worse for the Red Tornadoes.
For sure, yeah. David comes up a little bit lame. Stellar heads right back in there. But, Jim, just a quick update here. Whoever does come away with the victory, at this point in time, it looks like the Red Tornadoes are pretty well cemented for championship week next week. They will be facing the Southern Columbia area Tigers. They've defeated South Williamsport 41-7.
There's Impt, and he hits Stellar in the backfield. So a good play there by the Trojans. They're not going down without a fight here, Dan.
Absolutely not.
And I thought our game was really cooking. Southern's done already.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they had it. It was 35-0 at half. So you start the second half with the running clock with the mercy rule in effect. So that definitely helps things.
Right. Two other players, I think, and if I remember from Mr. Demansky's comments, we don't have all the background, but certainly Brett Williams and Tom Schultz are playing at the next level as well. So I want to give a shout out to those guys as well.
For sure.
And wish them well, in their careers. This time it's going to be Diaz, and Diaz is bouncing it out. Now he's in the corner, and he's going to be gone. Diaz, 51 yards. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. It's 34-7.
That's going to help the average.
Yeah.
These long runs that Diaz continues to break off, and he is just, we talk about it every single week. He is just a spark plug out there. He does a great job just kind of getting in and out and finding the lane, and then he had that one guy that had a beat on him there.
Yep.
And I think it was either Moser or Kellen Geary. I want to make sure.
Yeah, it was Geary.
It was Geary out in front that just got a chip on him, clean block downfield, which is hard to do, and sprung Diaz.
Stellar's kick is up, and that one's good. So now that is 133, and that'll tie Stankovic for the most kick points ever here at Mount Carmel area.
Correct, yes.
But, yeah, Dan, you make the point about Geary, and I'm right there with you because I thought that's such a tough spot in today's football, whether it's in high school, college, the NFL, whatever, where you want to make that block, but you have to be cautious because the refs they're keen on throwing that penalty if you're blocking back towards your own end zone.
Correct, yeah. And you're right. Geary did a good job. You really, all you can do on that is get a little chip, and that's what Geary did. He got a shoulder on a shoulder and slowed him down enough, knocked him off course there, and sprung Diaz.
Yep. And let's just remember, just really quick so we can just talk about this, guys. So we're talking about Geary making that block, which was, 30 yards downfield about. He's the center.
Yeah.
Right? So he's not a wide receiver or running back out there running with Diaz. Nope.
Right.
That's what these offensive linemen have done for the Red Tornadoes all season.
Absolutely.
They've made big blocks at the point of attack, helped spring guys, and then also continue downfield and help finish runs.
Yeah, and they've done a great job of it. They've been super consistent, too, throughout the season.
Renzone Kohik deep for the Trojans. Stellar on to kick off. Good kick from Stellar. Renzo's going to take it over his shoulder at the 5. Actually, nice job of receiving that.
Yeah.
And a big tackle there made. I think that's Miller again.
Yes, it is Ben Miller for sure. He did a really nice job. He kind of worked underneath one of the blockers there and shuffled in there and met him right at the point of contact. Did a really nice job there.
Yeah, textbook way to kind of work through that kick coverage, break down and make a tackle.
Yep.
So we got 3:21 left in this one. $35-7 Red Tornadoes here. And what's been a good night at the Silver, a cold night, but a good night.
Yeah, definitely been a good night to be a Red Tornado fan tonight, and to be a Red Tornado in general.
Woodward's going to hand it off to Johnson that time. And again, it just continues being hard to tell which one of those guys has the ball. Never totally sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Again, we'll see how this one ends, but certainly another dominating performance by the Red Tornadoes, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, yeah. They've just been unbelievable these past 6 weeks. That this run, their 7th week now with this run they've been on.
Woodward's going to keep it himself, and that's what you just saw there, Dan. The ball's out. The Trojans will fall back on it, but what you just saw there, I wonder if that's what happened on the touchdown.
Yeah.
Woodward just put his foot in the ground and went the other way.
Yeah, he was stacked up there and you know, kind of broke out of there and changed direction, changed course a little bit, made a nice run. But that time, you know, all for naught, he wasn't really able to pick much up.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5 as we approach the 2-minute mark. Woodward will be in the shotgun. He's going to have Johnson. It's a shotgun pistol, kind of.
Yeah.
Woodward going to throw. He's looking for Kohik, and it's incomplete. Just overthrew him a bit, so it's going to be 4th down.
And another good job there by Diaz, and I really like give credit to the official there, just realizing that there's a little hand battling going on, and letting these guys play.
Yeah. Yep. Again, Diaz did a good job getting his head around at the end there to look for the ball. So.
Yep.
And we talk about it all the time. Coach Dara has such confidence in his corners. He leaves those guys in man coverage a lot.
Yes, he does. We'll see another 4th down play here as Trojans are.
To bring Kohik in motion. They're going to run a double reverse. So Woodward, he's going to throw it out. And it's caught. That's Kimmicks. He's going to pick up a 1st down. So a nice little wrinkle there.
Yeah, very, very nice.
So they have Woodward split out, take the snap, hand it to him. Let him throw it to Kimmicks for a 1st down and a lot of yards there.
Yeah, that's a well-designed play there. Really well-designed.
So we'll see. We got a minute and a half left in this one. So here we go, minute 13. We get a snap here. Woodward still under center. They bring Johnson in motion. So you're going to see something interesting here. Kimmicks is going to throw it again. Kohik got behind everybody, but there's a lot of Red Tornadoes there. Somebody caught that football, I think.
I think so. I think it's going to be a Red Tornado.
It's Belichick.
That is Belichick.
So we'll wait for the call. There it is.
Yes.
1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. It was Kohik and 4 Red Tornadoes. You could tell the ball didn't hit the ground.
Yeah.
But we got 53 seconds here, and before we do, again, we talked about it before. All of this is everything you're able to see tonight. You're warm somewhere thanks to WKMC TV.
Yes.
And specifically tonight, we want to thank Sammy Zatney, Hannah Forspring, and Lucas Lubinsky on cameras, Alyssa Trefsker on graphics, Zoe Psycho, Jaylee Gonzalez, and Dominic Tambourine are our production assistants tonight. Master Controller Corin Ennis in the 1st half, and Jalen Gonzalez in the 2nd half. So thank you all, as always. Again, Red Tornado WKMC TV student-run TV studio bringing you these amazing sights and sounds.
And we're going to see now the Red Tornadoes, I think, take a timeout to get things straight.
Yeah, I don't think they had a quarterback in there.
No, they didn't.
Corinne Ennis, is the master controller for the 1st half.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a timeout for the Red Tornadoes as they're trying to get, like you said, it looked like they had Al Bailey back there prepared to take the snap with only 10 guys on the field, but he was ready to do it. That's one of those things, especially as a fullback, you look for that moment. He was trying to seize his opportunity there.
Yep, so they got Belichick in the gun. He's got Jacob Zarski next to him. And they're going to give it to Zarski off the right side. He's going to be dragged down from behind quickly by 15. That's Johnson.
Johnson, yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one there for Zarski. Johnson coming off that backside. It took a little bit to develop, and Zarski didn't really have a cutback. So Johnson right on him quickly. But so we've also got Bailey Lukoski out there. You've got Chase Belichick at the tight end spot.
Hunter Boblick, Maddox Lamas.
Maddox Reed also at the other tight end spot, I believe.
It's a high snap, and we got a flag, so this will stop the clock and give us a second to catch any other jerseys.
I'm sorry, Jim, you're right.
Dan.
It's Boblick at that other tight end spot. I apologize, not Maddox Reed.
So 53, Jacob Doak.
54, Hine, Caden Hine.
45-yarder Delaney.
Got 70.
Langton, Michael Langton.
We'll see if we miss anybody here.
But I hope that's everybody.
I hope so too. If not, we'll get it right.
Belichick will keep it himself, and that's going to do it here at the Silverbowl. So the Red Tornadoes march on. They'll take their 7-game win streak on the road next week to Catawissa to face the Southern Columbia Tigers in the District 4 Class 2A District Championship matchup.
Yeah, Jim, just something I want to point out here. You know, these, you see Julian Steller visibly emotional, along with Pedro Feliciano down there on the sideline. Because they are going to be going on the road next week to Southern Columbia, this is those seniors out there. This is going to be their last game played at the Silverbowl. So it's definitely an emotional moment as a senior. I remember my last game played at home here at the Silverbowl, and it's a moment unlike any other, because no matter where you go when you move on, to college and stuff like that, no matter where you go, where you end up, if you go to college, if you play anywhere else, there's no atmosphere like this one. There's never going to be anything that is just like this on a Friday night, Saturday night.
I'm just watching some of the interactions. I'll be honest with you. I think when we talked about it last year with COVID, you lost some of these interactions at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And for a hard-fought game, there's nothing but respect and admiration going on in the fields right now between the players, the coaching staff, everybody.
Absolutely. And you see a lot, and you see, like you said, you got Feliciano and you got Steller there still shaking hands, because it seems like every player on in a white jersey out there, every Trojan is stopping those guys and saying, "Hey man, you're a tough runner. Hey man, you guys, good luck. Go get Southern next week." Stuff like that. And that's that. You're right. It's a war when you're in between those lines, in between the whistles. But when it's all said and done, everybody's out here for a common goal. Everybody's out here enjoying, especially senior to senior. Everybody's out there enjoying their final game. A lot of these Troy Trojans, the seniors, just played in their final high school football game.
So it'll be, again, for the 4th time in 5 years, the Red Tornadoes will go to the district championship game over in Catawissa.
Yeah.
Hope to unseat the reigning champion Tigers. But again, for tonight, they can bask in another dominant victory, 35-7. I see Jose tabulating some stats, so we'll get an idea of where the rush totals wound up. But,
yeah,
we could see, again, you had a 51-yard rush from Diaz for a touchdown. You had the 34-yard Farinano touchdown,
long
the 44-yard Steller touchdown. Yep. So that right there, that'll give you what? That's about $120.
Yeah, and that stuff was in the second half here. So
it'll be curious. They should be probably close to that 300-yard mark again, would be my guess.
Yeah, if not over. Because we did have some big runs from Feliciano as well. Widener had a couple nice runs. Davitt.
Yep. So, like we said, I see Jose just got up.
Yeah. So I think we should be getting the stats here coming through soon.
Yep, incoming here.
Here we go.
All right. So what do you got for us, Dan?
All right. Well, now we got to flip this upside down here. All right. So the Red Tornadoes did eclipse that 300-yard mark. They had 44 carries for 319 yards, 1 of 3 passing for 7 yards, 18 first downs. Now, flip it over to the Trojans. 30 carries for 73 yards, 4 of 12 passing for, looks like 101 yards, and 11 first downs. So 319, 326 total yards for the Red Tornadoes offense tonight.
Now, I will say, and I'll say this unofficially, and we'll be able to confirm it. You'll probably be able to confirm it in the paper tomorrow. Jose can confirm it for us. But if all these numbers hold up and go officially, if that 319 officially goes into the record books,
Yeah.
that should be enough to eclipse the total for the most rushing yards ever by a Mount Carmel team in a season.
That's impressive. And these kids have done it as a team as well. You know, nobody really taken the taken the reins on that one.
Yeah, what was Pedro for the night? We'll have to check that with Jose because again, he was closest. He was about 154 yards away from 1,000.
Yeah.
Coming into tonight, so we'll see where that is. But again, I think the important thing to talk about is another Red Tornado victory, another Red Tornado trip to the district championship.
Yep.
So it's been a short night, fortunately, but it's been a cold one.
Yeah.
So I think we can go ahead and work our way out of here.
For sure.
So for Jose Gonzalo, I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko. This
has been a WKMC TV broadcast. The Red Tornadoes come out on top 35-7. Thanks for being with us. We will see you next week in Catawissa to face the Tigers. Have a great night. Their way down onto the field, we can get started. I see the officials coming, so the team